Can you hear me okay? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is the second and final healing of the March triplet set. March twin set, sorry. The one with 2 in it. 2 healings. March twin set. And the theme for this set is clear trauma and nurture yourself. Clear trauma residue and nurture yourself. And once again, trauma residue is not located in one specific place. Trauma residue is a catch-all term I'm using to mean the results from having been in traumatic experiences that you haven't yet cleared. So that could be baggage in certain chakras. It could be even damage to certain parts of your energy system. Typically it is, though, like blocked energy somewhere. And the blocked energy is kind of like little movies, you know, little compressed pieces of energy from whatever experience it was. And most people do have trauma residue from this and/or past lives that they have not yet cleared. And comfort yourself is a big part of it too, because sometimes when you're in a stressful situation, even, you know, like a particularly stressful day, the stress makes you sort of contract and clutch. So you're not releasing. So you can't really clear that stress until maybe you comfort and nurse yourself and you relax that clenching reflex, you know, the resistance. So that's why, in general, it's a good rule to clear and give to yourself, clear and give to yourself. Because the giving to yourself, I mean, it's good for several reasons, but one is just a practical. Sometimes you can't clear something because you're just gripping too much, you know. And so if you nurture and kind of calm that part of you and comfort that part of you, then that gripping can release and you can actually clear more than you would have otherwise. So anyway, blah, blah, blah. Hello from Washington State. Hello to you. Sunny Washington State. Yes, it is so sunny now. I mean, compared to the winter, that I brought my dogs out just now just to make sure that they don't need to go outside yet again. And they just stood around in the sun. They didn't do anything. They're just like, oh, how nice. Thanks, Mom. Oh, yes, the sun, you can feel that the sun is finally getting a little bit of strength back to it, which is good. So I already started talking about the theme, but I do more of it right now. So essentially the first healing in this set of 2 on Sunday, 2 days ago, had a lot of bigger stuff in it. In particular, the flow zone stuff, which I'll review again what that is, but the flow zone unblocking. And the flow zone is not everywhere. It's a specific place in your physical. I mean, yeah, I gave it too generic a name. So it's probably part of the confusion of what to call it otherwise. But anyway, anyway, I'll go into that right before we do it. I'll explain again the flow zone, but it's a part of your physical body energy, physical body aura. And it also involves blockages in the top of the spinal cord. They're connected, the blocks here and the blocks in the top of the spinal cord. So anyway, that flow zone, I'm just going to call it flow zone unblocking, is a big deal. And it was, the surveys, you know, helped confirm, yes, it is a big deal. Some people didn't feel the work, which is interesting, but most people did. but that's always true, I guess. Some people just don't feel the healing, but then later they can, you know, function a lot better. So they just experience it differently than other people. But anyway, so we'll repeat the flow zone stuff because it's such a big deal, and people still need more of that. And we will probably repeat the self-care circle, which we did 2 days ago as well, which is a simplified, it's one of those things where you create a simplified way to work on something more complex. And so you imagine a circle that represents your ability to be aware of what you need on subconscious or conscious levels, and then give yourself what you need, and so like self-care, nurturing. If you unblock the circle so it flows nicely, it's more likely, you're clearing, various chakras and baggage or whatever, so that you can, be aware of what you need and meet your needs, be aware of what you need and meet your needs, give to yourself. So that's the self-care circle, which we may repeat today, but we did do it 2 days ago. We will repeat the uncording of the setback people again, because I don't know if I'll always do it, but it does seem kind of a good fundamental to uncord the major people in your life, especially the ones, I mean, anybody, but before you do big shifts like unblocking your flow zone and stuff, it's extra nice to just uncord everybody, so that as you come way more in after that, you're not sending some big blast of energy through the cords to other people just as a chain reaction, an accidental chain reaction, because that's how typically you get the backlash from people. They get this big influx of energy through the cords that they have to you, and then they're like, wow, what is that? Stop that. So we will yet again uncord setback people, probably at least twice in this healing. And in the healing 2 days ago, we also did extra work repairing and unblocking the first and second chakra cords of the physical body, first and second chakras of the physical body. We did extra repair on those, not the astral and the physical, just the physical. Because sometimes if you have damage in one chakra but not the other, if you're repairing them all together, you might not notice as much the damage, so you don't know to keep going because you haven't fixed it all yet. You haven't repaired it all yet. So that's sometimes a benefit of isolating your work to more specific. But anyway, I'm going to do more work on physical body chakras, probably all of them at once, and then maybe different chakras one at a time, just to double check that it was thorough enough. So we'll see about that, but we will do physical body chakra work. I'm not sure if I'll add it to just the chakra repair section that's early on in the healing, or it'll be a section later. We'll see. Okay, and then the last thing I want to explain is in the survey for the first healing, so that hopefully many of you did fill out yesterday, give healing feedback, let me know how you're doing. My little extra question that I put in there was what I'm calling a slow motion receiving exercise using healing flowers. And so I wanted to explain that again. Well, I explained it in the survey, but I want to explain it here and do it here. So I'll help people. It's basically, I'll explain it before I do it, but it helps you receive more thoroughly. So it's not that, when you do flower healing, now you're receiving the flowers, you're receiving the healing energy, but there are degrees to which you can receive. And so you could receive more and more deeply. And that's how sometimes people feel the healings more than other people, because they're more open to receiving. They have less subconscious blocks and people in their space getting in the way. And that's the same with angels. You know, sometimes people are like, oh, I don't think my angels are that good. But that's never the case. It's usually there's so many blocks that you have on some level to receiving the healing from your angels. So the slow motion receiving exercise where you give yourself energy healing flowers, you do this slow motion receiving and you nudge yourself to be aware of what's getting in the way of the flowers as you're giving them to yourself, because you're doing it in slow motion, right? And so then you see maybe, like I did it, when I did it, I saw like the hands of an ex-boyfriend come up, like, you know, like that, like, because when I was dating him, it was not a healthy relationship, but you know, he fancied himself to be very nurturing. So he was like still in my space, even though it's like beyond ancient history. He was still in my space, like, oh no, I'll do that, you know. Total joke. But anyway, so I cleared him out, you know, little bits of old energy of his still in my space, and you know, other people, invasive beings. So then after doing that slow motion thing a couple times and keep clearing more stuff, then when I was able to, then as I did the flower healing, I felt it more than I usually do, because I was able to receive more fully, more deeply. So the same flowers affected me much more in a positive way, because I got rid of some of those subconscious things in the way of me receiving. And so that helps you give to yourself in like flower healing, but also in life. And it also helps you receive from your angels more deeply. It helps you receive in a healing like this more, so you have more profound effects from the healings, things like that. So we will be working that today in this healing, a slow motion receiving exercise is what I call it. Slow motion receiving. And you look at what's in the way. So it's not that you're, it's not that you're putting blocks there that wouldn't have been there otherwise. They're there otherwise. It's just, you know, so say you're giving yourself flowers, you're receiving maybe 20% of what you could have received from those flowers. It's still great to do, but the more you clear, then you're receiving 80% of the effects of the flowers, you know, versus 20% if you keep clearing, you know. So it's a way to make life gentler and more restorative for yourself if you get rid of what's in the way of you receiving. But no, it's because it's one person, I think at least, was like, some people kind of missed the point of that exercise, which was interesting. But I think it's just, you know, if you have that many blocks in the way of receiving, the exercise doesn't even make sense. So anyway, that's why we'll do it as part of this healing. I'll help clear away the stuff in the middle of it. And we may do something else that the angels show me spontaneously, but that's the basics of it. Yeah. So the slow motion receiving, of course, the 4 essentials, including Good Karma Windows, and then the flow zone clearing, including upper spine, and maybe the self-care circle, unblocking and uncording the setback people for sure, and clearing the 2 big blocks. So we're adding that survey exercise, but then the other stuff is pretty much a repeat of the Sunday healing, because the Sunday healing was a big deal. Although the chakra work, the body chakra work, won't be just a repeat. I'll do an extra level of thoroughness and explaining on that. There's that. So hope that makes sense. I can see and hear you in Texas. Hello. Hey, Janet, I can hear and see you from sunny Las Vegas, Nevada. Hello, hello. So if you would, please give the live stream a thumbs up. Or if you're watching later as a video, please give it a thumbs up. Guess that helps. Right. And at the end, I may, you know, in addition to showing my Charming doggies. I will possibly give a little garden update, just, you know, random stuff. Nothing earth shattering. All right. You know, I think I'll show my dogs right now. They're so cute. I'm so glad they're so peaceful. So that's Izzy. How cute is he? And that's Abel. At the moment, he doesn't have his cone on. We'll see if that lasts. If he's that peaceful, we can keep it off him, of course. Okay, I just thought that was, they're so peaceful. Okay. Okay, so now we'll do the 3 minutes of quiet before I start the healing. Oh, and I think they're actually, let me so at the moment there are 3 May twin set spots left. I just wanted to mention that. It's so weird because like they sell fast, and then like this last couple is just like the universe teaching me patience. Alrighty. So there's that. And so if you wanted one of those that you would for yourself or a loved one, then you would purchase them on my website, jwhealing.com, on the new purchase page. All right. That. And the point of this quiet is so I finish my prep and I say hi to the people that I'm about to be healing, the 131 people in the 13 countries. So I say hi to them on a telepathic level, non-verbally, spiritually, so that they're quite aware on that level that the healing's about to. Okay, let's do some grounding. Redo both your groundings, physical body and astral body grounding. Make them both the same color, red or orange or yellow. And then you have a copy out in front of you. You can make it just of your groundings or of your whole energy system, including your groundings, and use gold light from your hands to unblock your groundings. So you just imagine the blocks and melt them away with gold light. And of course, as you heal, you're using your hand chakras, the one in the center, palm of each hand, and also your fingertip chakras. You set those to a metallic gold color so that they're generating that color of energy, and that can be done with your thought or your intention. So if you don't yet see color when you close your eyes and look at energy, then that's fine. Just do it with your thought. And there could be blocks right at the bottom of the grounding. So maybe like a big heavy stack of books. So just melt those blocks. And then indie grounding is where you check the outer surface of your groundings and make sure there's no attachment to other people's groundings. Melt away any attachments with gold light. So uncording B people. B people means backlash people. Trying to make the titles short for me, since a lot of people watch on cell phones. But anyway, backlash people, people that throw energy at you, especially when you grow and change. Most of why they're doing that, well, there's many reasons, but if you uncord them before you make big changes, and often and all the time, then that reduces the chance that they will get triggered and try to clobber you. So that's a good thing. So just imagine yourself and imagine all the backlash people. You call them setback people, backlash people, whatever major people in your life. And then there's you, and just melt the cords. Don't send them any energy. Just melt the cords within your aura, going to them. And doesn't matter who made the cords. Melt all of them, even the ones that you have to kind of nudge yourself to be aware of. Go ahead, melt those too. And just give yourself an extra little healing so that you are less resistant to your backlash people. Because, I mean, it's not crazy to resist backlash people. I mean, they're always throwing energy at you when you're trying to improve yourself. So yeah, I get it, you know, but just give yourself that extra healing, so that a little extra gold light to ease yourself out of resistance, so that those people can throw energy and you're just flowing like water. You're cool. You're not going to resist, because the resistance creates a lot of clogs in your energy, which makes you a lot easier to be corded. So again, just give yourself a little extra healing so that you're not resisting your backlash people, or you're resisting them less. It's okay. You know, you've survived this long. Plenty of people have thrown energy at you, so you're stronger than that. Just relax, let go of the resistance, and definitely let go of the cords to your backlash people. All right. Good job. Okay. So the angels wanted me to move this up and do it pretty early on in the healing, even before the rest of the essentials. Because, you know, you'll get more out of the healing if we can clear more in the way of you receiving. So I explained it enough in the intro, so I won't explain too much more now, but basically go ahead and make yourself energy healing flowers that are just for you, just the right, you know, so they're out of universal healing energy, but then you shift the vibration to whatever you need, you know, and they'll be rainbow colors or gold or both. And just with your intention, you just shift them to they're going to be a really good healing for you. And then ask your angels to check your flowers. Angels, can you check my flowers? Right? And then you're going to do a slow motion give to yourself. Don't just give them to yourself, but as you slow motion give them, notice what comes up in between, you know, the flowers and you as you're bringing them in. And then just notice that and start melting whatever it is away. And if it's invasive beings, just say, angels, can you get rid of these invasive beings in the way of me receiving these flowers? And I think by doing it slow motion and doing it so specifically, like these flowers, you know, then it just makes it easier to notice stuff you wouldn't have normally known. It would have been there, but you wouldn't have known. So just keep clearing, bring it in, and keep clearing. Right? So again, and eventually give yourself the flowers, but then make more and do it again, and just keep clearing and then give yourself the flowers. And you could do it without the flowers too, just once or twice, just to imagine all the junk that would get in the way of you and the flowers, and just melt all that away. And any beings that would get in the way of you and receiving the flowers, just say, angels, can you recycle these? And a lot of times it's energy blocks though too. It can be both, you know. So the baggage that gets in the way of you at receiving the flowers, just use so much gold light that it melts away. The baggage that's in between you and receiving the flowers, just use so much gold light that it melts away. So much gold light that it melts. Imagine the baggage that's still there that gets in the way of you receiving the flowers. And again, it's not 100% obstruction, but it just diminishes the effect. You know, it's like you give it to yourself, but it kind of dilutes what you're giving to yourself if you have that junk in the way. And for context, most people have junk in the way on some level. Just a question of how much. So just imagine the junk that gets in the way and melt it away with gold light. And it can be people too. You know, so if it's people, just melt them out of your space. All the people that get in the way, just melt them out of your space. Imagine whatever energy from whatever people and just melt them out of your space with gold light. You're not harming them. It's just washing their energy out of your space. Imagine those people that the part of their energy that's getting in the way of the flowers because it's in your space, and just wash that out. So now you can try it again, you know, make your energy healing flowers for yourself. Say, angels, can you check my flowers? And give them to yourself. And you may consciously feel a difference in how that felt to you. But if not, just use your intuition and be like, okay, well, normally I receive, you know, 60% of the healing potential of those flowers, and now I receive 75% of the healing. You know, just notice if there is a difference, even if you're not feeling like, whoa. So one more time, energy healing flowers for yourself. Tune into what you need right now. And then, angels, can you check my flowers? And then give them to yourself. Couple deep breaths. Okay, so again, what gets in the way? Just imagine whatever gets in the way of you receiving those flowers and receiving from your angels, receiving when I give you a healing, if you get healings from me, and just melt all that out. Melt all that out of your spirit. Whatever gets in the way of you receiving good stuff that you want to receive, like gold light from your angels, gold light from these healings, and healing energy flowers from yourself. What gets in the way, and just melt it away. And again, if there are a bunch of invasive beings that get in the way, the angels, can you recycle these beings? Breaths. So again, do non-slow motion for yourself just to see how it feels. Make a bunch of energy healing flowers for yourself. Tune it to what you need. Ask your angels, angels, can you check my flowers? And give them to yourself. Breaths. Okay, so I mentioned in the intro discussion of this healing a few minutes ago that sometimes you're just so stressed that you kind of clench up. Well, not sometimes, it's a common thing. And so a part of you could be so clenched up, say from traumatic experiences or just a really stressful day, which is also a traumatic experience, that you can't receive, right? And so just imagine little parts of you, subconscious, maybe conscious parts of you, doesn't matter, but little mini yous that can't receive. Most likely because you're too traumatized, but it could be for other reasons as well. You're stuck on something. So just any parts of you that are damaged or harmed or stuck, and so they can't receive. And these parts of you can't receive healing from yourself, from angels, from these healings, from anything. And so just give those parts of you a healing with gold light. Just say, hey, it's okay. It's okay. You're not in trouble. You just deserve a healing. And so just use gold light. And you can bring up red earth energy, and then orange earth energy, and then yellow earth energy. And you can, try to comfort these parts of you. Hey, it's all right. Okay. All right. A couple deep breaths. Let's do that one more time. Just imagine any, because sometimes when you heal, then you could heal more after that. So just imagine if you still have little parts of you that can't be healed, are not able to receive. Maybe they're too angry or too stuck on something or too stressed or whatever. So those parts of you are generally the ones that need the most healing. So just be gentle, but just try to comfort that part of you and be like, hey, it's okay. Just use gold light and earth energy and gold light. Okay, it's okay. You can heal. Nobody's forcing you though. All right. Okay. And you could have parts of you that can't heal, but they're not really a part of you. Like you're kind of, part of you is confused, and it's some personality beings that are pretending to be parts of you that are resistant to healing. So you can just separate out the ones that actually aren't parts of you and just say angels. Well, you could say if any angels, if any of these are invasive beings, being tricky, can you please recycle them? Sometimes with healing, you have to be ready to heal, right? And ready to change. And maybe part of you is more than ready, but then another part of you just isn't, right? And so the idea is to help the part of you that isn't ready to change, because the rest of you is really hoping for some damn improvements, right? And so we got to negotiate with the part of you that's really not ready, you know, just by healing that part of you. And then so then that part of you isn't so stuck anymore and can enjoy the change. So imagine these parts of you that are resistant to change, resistant to positive change, resistant to being healed, resistance to letting go of the pain, and just heal those parts of you. Don't force anything, but just heal them. Just them. Give them special care. Try to be comforting. Say it's okay. It's all right. And again, just say, angels, if any of these are invasive beings and not me, please recycle them. Okay, so now we'll do the 3 essentials. We already did grounding, so we'll just do the other 3 essentials. And we'll add Good Karma Windows to that. So just have a copy out in front of you of all your auras. You have 17 auras, physical body, astral body, and 15 Wei Qi auras. And just imagine all those auras out in front of you. They're all in the same place if you're relatively present. So just wash them out with gold light and check out, where is the damage? And you could just do it this way, looking at specific rips and repairing them that way. But let's do composite copy technique. So you imagine, you create with your intention one image of a rip and have it with your intention, have it represent all the rips that you currently have in your 17 auras. And then you clean out that rip, fill it up with sticky gold wax, which sticks to all the junk that's not you. And you lift all the junk out in a chunk, give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Again, fill up that rip with sticky gold wax that sticks to everything that's not you. Lift out the junk. Angels, here you go. One more time, fill it up with sticky gold wax. Have it stick especially to the hard objects that are stuck in there. Fill that out all at once. Angels, here you go. So then use gold light to repair. And sometimes, invasive beings are in the way, and a couple of them maybe didn't get removed with the sticky wax. So just say, angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way, you please recycle them. And if you have any leftover rips, just to make one composite copy representing the leftover rips, fill it up with sticky gold wax, remove the junk. Angels, here you go. Fill it up with sticky gold wax, remove the junk. Angels. Couple deep breaths. And you can have leftover hardness in your auras from the damage, even once the rips are repaired. So just make piles out in front of you of any leftover hardness, either in the outer surface of one of your auras or the like patches of several layers of hardness in the inner parts of your auras, and just melt the hardness away. Use the gold light, melt the hardness. Double check the outer surfaces. You want to make sure there are no leaks of energy. Okay, and then redo your gold buffer zones. Great, good job. So it was aura repair. Some celebratory confetti for that aura repair. Good job. So we'll do creative ring repair of your creative rings, 3 gold rings above your head, part of your astral body energy system. So just imagine copies of your 3 gold rings out in front of you and repair them. And if you need to let them expand a little and become a little more substantial gold rings, that's okay too. Let them be as, you know, maybe like rather than notice if your rings are like a skinny gold band or like a thicker gold band. You know, and you can just heal them and let them expand if they need to, because you want them to be able to withstand, you know, stuff thrown at them. Melt cords going into them from anything, anyone. You can imagine the invasive beings courting your creative rings and just say, angels, can you recycle these beings? Couple deep breaths while your angels do that. Again, imagine your creative rings and any beings that are messing with your creative rings, just imagine them like a cloudiness and just say, angels, can you recycle these beings? You have any people courting your creative rings, there's no good reason for people to do that. So just imagine if you do have people courting your creative rings, just melt away the cords. Don't do anything to the people. Just melt their cords going into your creative rings. And finish up your repair. Your rings. Alrighty. You want your creative rings unblocked enough so that your 7th chakra energy can all go right through them as it goes up your 7th layer and then fountains down and then comes back up, goes through the creative rings and down your 7th layer. So just check that that space in the middle of the rings is unblocked enough. And that your creative rings are generating enough gold light and sending it down to your major chakras along your spine. Okay, good job. Give you some gold confetti for that one. Woohoo! Good job. So we're going to do chakra repair. But again, because we did that slow motion receiving exercise and we have a sort of a special focus on what's in the way of you receiving, before we do chakra repair, let's just, you know, as part of that process, let's just double check what gets in the way of you doing chakra repair. Because it's like you have your composite copy, right? Which represents all chakras, major and minor, right? So create that copy out in front of you of your chakra. It can look like this, pretty much, you know, this shape. That's the basic chakra shape, an open cylinder. And as you're, you know, sending gold light from your hands to this composite copy, what's in the way? And, you know, it still works, but it can work more and more and more, right? So what's in the way? So you can just imagine what gets in the way between the gold light leaving your hands and the copy, right? And just imagine what's in the way and melt it away. Imagine what's in the way, melt it. Imagine what's in the way and melt it. And if there are any invasive beings in the way, say, angels, can you recycle these invasive beings? So then just imagine the composite copy again, have it represent all your major and minor chakras. Go ahead, send gold light to it and repair it. Melt cords and unblock, melt the energy block. And you can have, you know, around the outer surface of the, you know, in the outer part of the chakra, you can have hard objects stuck in there. You know, lots of little ones all along. So right now that we're working both astral and physical, just use sticky gold wax around that outer edge of the openings and have it stick to all the tiny little hard objects stuck there and lift them out. Angels, here you go. Again, sticky gold wax, the outer opening, outer part of the opening, and have it stick to any little hard objects and lift those out with the wax. Angels, here you go. And if there are any invasive beings in the way of you finishing this repair, just say, angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way, please recycle them. And the theme of this set is clear trauma and nurture yourself, clear trauma residue and nurture yourself. So right now that we're working all the chakras, just lift out trauma residue that you're ready to get rid of. You could blow it up. You can melt it with gold light. Lift out the trauma residue. You can give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Lift out the trauma residue from your chakras. Angels, here you go. Okay, so that's chakra repair. Good job. Use some butterflies for that one. Good job. Yay. So later we'll do, so that was pretty much basic chakra repair of all major and minor chakras using composite copy technique, although we did do a little bit extra sticky gold wax to get rid of teeny tiny hard objects in the outer surface of the round opening there. So that's, and then we did extra repair once we got rid of this junk and got rid of the beings. It kept doing extra repair. But we'll do that more just for physical body chakras. Pretty much the same thing though, but we'll do more of that later in the healing. All right, so Good Karma Windows, those are back here. And sorry, I couldn't find my diagram last time. I'll just draw a new one. So this is bigger than they really are, probably twice as big as they really are. But this would be like the good karma window in the back of your first layer behind the base of your skull. That's what I mean when I say triple frame window. And then this inside part, I don't have a way of drawing that so it looks right. Maybe if I had like red watercolor, maybe, or like really light watercolor, because it's sort of it should be this flowy, like the surface of Jello, like red Jello. So there would be like a red Jello surface right there. That would be your first layer, good karma window of your astral body aura. And I keep emphasizing that your good karma windows are in your astral body aura because the flow zone, which we're about to do after that, is in your physical body. So we're making sure to clear both. But anyway, so first this is just good karma windows, which is your astral body aura right here behind the base of your skull and your neck. So just imagine your good karma windows. So I like to imagine like this, like a profile, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And they're the colors of the rainbow if you're using rainbow system for your chakras. Just lots of gold light. And you don't want anything like in them, like you can get people and evasive beings to kind of weave their way through them. So just freeze all that, and I was going to say yank it out, but that doesn't sound gentle enough. So freeze them and just ease all that junk out. Give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Freeze all the junk, ease them out. Angels, here you go. You want to repair the triple frame windows and the Jello surface. So that is nice and flowy and strong. And trauma residue, you can have trauma residue on your good karma windows, especially in that Jello surface. So rather than like a red flowy Jello for the first layer one, it could be like red flowy Jello caked in like hard black stuff. So just notice your good karma windows if there's any extra hardness, around them because of trauma experiences you've had, and just melt that away with gold light. Okay, good job. Woohoo. So let's do the flow zone now. Flow zone and the upper spinal cord, just that, part around your, the height of your, level with your top of your clavicle and part of your spinal cord. A lot of times blocks in your flow zone, that area behind here in your physical body aura, they're connected to the hardness in your spinal cord, and connected like literally, not just like metaphorically. It's like hardness, it's all interconnected. So that's a problem, that's a problem. So it's like you can't fully clear your spinal cord blocks up there if you haven't cleared a lot of the flow zone. It's all one connected bunch of blocks. So again, we're working, like I said, it's the same area as was in the Good Karma Windows, except it's just in the physical body aura. So again, right directly behind the base of your skull and your neck, and just this whole area back here. And it should, unlike with Good Karma Windows, there's nothing that should be here except for in the physical body, you have layers of the aura that wrap around, but that's it. There's no like extra structure. Like Good Karma Windows, which is why I'm just calling it the flow zone. Be flowy, without like big hard piles of junk hooked into your spine. So just and you know, it takes time to get rid of all of it because you got it during traumatic experiences, and so it's just kind of trippy. So just doesn't have to be trippy to get rid of it, but if you're not super present, then it might feel a little bit like, oh my gosh, this is a big deal. But it's a good big deal. So just keep melting that hardness in your flow zone and in the upper part of your spinal cord. And if you have any invasive beings in this area just blocking the healing or giving you a hard time for any reason, or just any beings affecting this area in any way, the angels, can you recycle these invasive beings? And we can do the whole spinal cord as well. Not that, sorry. There we go. So up and down the spine. As you unblock the top of the spine, it affects energy flow all the way up and down. I say spine, but I mean spinal cord. The spinal cord in the middle of the spine. But I mean, obviously, it's good to also unblock the energy flow in the bones. That's really good. You can alternate back and forth with that. Then do more of the flow zone unblocking and the upper spinal cord unblocking. And then complement that with more entire up and down spine flow work. Unblock that. And you may feel some resistance trigger. So just try to breathe through it. Use gold light. Check your grounding. Sure your grounding's flowing. Go wide. And again, imagine yourself and your backlash people and check for cords. And just melt your own baggage and the cords as they're right near your space, and that'll melt the whole cord. And uncord your backlash people, melt those cords. A little more flow zone unblocking and a spinal cord unblocking. And the whole spine, the bones, and the whole spinal cord. You can do a little bit with the brain too. The spinal cord goes into connects with the lower part of the brain stem, and then the whole brain. So you could just imagine your brain, and then the lower part, your brain stem, then flows into your spinal cord, way down your spine. You don't want any blocks anywhere there. You just want the energy to flow the way it needs to, wherever it needs to. You don't want any bottlenecks. And again, your flow zone area, block that enough. There. Couple deep breaths. Good job. All right, good job, good job, good job. Yay. So, physical body chakras. We already repaired all chakras and unblocked all chakras, but I want to do extra with the physical body chakras in particular. In part because it's easier to clear trauma from your astral body than your physical body, for the most part, because your astral body is you as a spirit, and so you have it kind of feels like you have all the time in the world when you're sleeping to work with your angels and heal your astral body. Just because it's just easy to do big things quickly on a spirit level, especially when you're asleep, because you have nothing else to do. You're not like driving a car or, dealing with your dogs or anything, hopefully, on the astral. So a lot of times people are more further along with processing their traumatic experiences, and they're more kind of over it than their physical body system is. The physical body can kind of hang on to stuff, and unless you ease it out of that mode, then you're not going to get very far. So that's part of why many people, not everyone, but tend to distance themselves from their body because their physical body is still carrying the trauma because you didn't clear it yet out of your physical body. It's like if you were to wear clothes and then, your clothes are dirty and you're like, oh, I hate those clothes. They're dirty. Like, well, just wash them, There was this guy in college actually who didn't do his laundry. He would just buy new underwear all the time. I mean, eventually he did do his laundry, but that was like a thing for him. It was kind of funny. But anyway, so you can't buy a new physical body for this lifetime. You know, this is the one you have. So anyway, so we're gonna wash it. So we're doing a specific chakra repair on the physical body chakras, specifically the 7 major ones along your spine. I mean, we could do the minor chakras because those are body chakras too, but we already did those when we did all chakras, so I think we'll just focus on the major physical body chakras, the 7 along your physical body spine. And I think if we can sort of transform those, then that'll help nudge all the body chakras to let go of more trauma in a gentle, gradual way. So there's that. That was explaining. So now we will do. So just we'll do composite copy at first, but just of all the physical body major chakras. So it represents your 7 major chakras. So make a copy out in front of you. Looks basically like this. That's the chakra shape, and just have it represent all your 7 physical body chakras only. And you want to pay special attention to this outer edge of the round opening. So on both sides. I surprised myself there. So anyway, just because you can have a lot wrong with that, but it's just really subtle. Like, you know, chakra flaps. I've talked about chakra flaps before. And the chakra flaps, they might not be like, they could be all... Yeah. This is a drawing of the creative ring flaps, but it's the same look. Not gold. But so this would be a creative ring, a top-down view of one of your creative rings, obviously larger than real size, but these flaps are open. This is like in an irritated state. So with your chakras, you don't want them to be open like this because it's real easy for someone to cord when the flap is open. The cord just kind of fits right in there. And so usually it's a pair of cords on opposite sides of the chakra that someone would be able to get in. So you don't want that. So so anyway, you think of the flaps and you want them to relax and fall shut. But they might not if there's something, like if something was thrown and it damaged, like this whole part just got kind of smashed because someone threw something, then the flap tends to jam open. And then it's easy for someone to cord there and do a whole bunch there. So just be aware of any flaps are sticking out, and then sticky gold wax the whole thing. You know, this whole surface, just sticky gold wax it and have it stick to all the little tiny hard objects and lift them out. Angels, here you go. Have them stick to have the sticky gold wax stick to all the hard objects and lift out the wax and those hard objects. Angels, here you go. And then angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way, can you please recycle them? And then just work on repairing the gashes. And we'll probably do that a few times. But if you fully repair it, then the flap will fall shut. And so it'll be a nice, smooth surface rather than, you know, the flap sticking out. So again, physical body, 7 chakras. Just keep repairing so that the flaps can fall shut. And go ahead and if you have some flaps that are open, probably something's still jammed in them. So use sticky gold wax, have it stick to the hard objects and invasive beings that are in the way, and have the wax pull all that out. Give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Do more repair. And as we're doing this chakra repair of your physical body chakras, as I've said several times in this healing, sometimes a part of somebody is just not ready to be healed. Like the other part of you is like, oh, please, please, please. But one part of you just isn't ready yet. So let's just clear baggage so that those parts of you get with the program, right? So just make a big old blanket out in front of you and put out on the blanket any baggage that's within you where you're blocking your own restoration, your own rebuilding of your physical body chakras. Just put all that baggage out in front of you, and you could blow it up or you could melt it with gold light. So it's any internal baggage that you have that's blocking the repair process of your physical body chakras. And again, it can be just a response to trauma that, you know, you become against any changes whatsoever, even if they are, you know, to make you better and more whole and more safe and more strong. You know, the part of you can just shut down and shut out and say, no, 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 no to anything, right? So we want to clear that baggage so that you can find strength for yourself and build your strength, right? So what baggage is in your space blocking your own healing and repair? And just melt that away with gold light. All right, and so let's do more of that physical body repair again, of the 7 major chakras of your physical body. Just have that, you know, the copy out in front of you of, you know, representing only your physical body 7 chakras along your spine. And just keep repairing and unblocking. Again, sticky gold wax around the round opening, this whole area, especially for any hard objects that are jammed in. Sticky gold wax, and for any invasive beings, have them stick to the wax. Lift all that out. Angels, here you go. More sticky gold wax. Have it stick to everything. Hard objects, beings, cords. For all that, angels, here you go. Let the flaps relax. Once they're repaired enough, that part of the chakra is repaired enough, the flap will fall shut. All right, good job. So I just want to double check to see that specific physical body chakras got repaired enough through that process. So I'll be quiet for a minute as I'm checking. Okay, so now we're still doing the same thing of physical chakra repair, but we'll do it differently. Just imagine as they are in real life, you know, like have a copy of your spine out in front of you with the or of yourself out in front of you, and just imagine the physical body chakra 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right? And just sticky gold wax all of them, especially you're gonna pull out any invasive beings that are kind of threaded through the chakras. So sticky gold wax all of them, and you can sticky gold, no, yeah, just your physical body 7 chakras, and have the wax stick to anything that's not you, including invasive people and invasive beings, and then just move all that out of the chakras. Angels, here you go. Again, sticky gold wax all your physical body chakras. Have the wax stick to anything kind of threaded through a bunch of chakras at once. And yank that out. Angels, here you go. And do some extra repair. 7. Physical 7th. Physical 6th. Physical 5th. Physical 4th. Back in the front. Have the hard objects just kind of pop out so you can do the repair. Physical 3rd. Physical 2nd. Have the hard objects just pop out. Finish the repair so that the flaps can relax and fall shut. First chakra, physical body, first chakra, red. It's a nice color for your first chakra. Have the hard objects just pop out. Finish the repair. Again, any invasive beings, just sticky gold wax them, move them out. Angels, here you go. All right, again, I'm double checking the specific chakras. And let's do physical body aura layers. So your chakras, physical body major chakras generate, each of those 7 chakras generates an aura layer. Right? So I'm just going to say physical body, physical 7 aura layers. 7 layers of aura. Physical body, 7 layers of the aura. So we'll just there's no explaining on that one. It's just a doing. So we just want to do a little extra unblocking to give your chakras an easier time. Because the chakras are supposed to keep energy flowing in these aura layers, but if they're too blocked up, it's not so easy. Lots of gold light. Again, this is not all your auras. We're just doing one of your auras, the physical body aura. The one that's around your body when you're sleeping at night. Physical body aura. I mean, it's around your body all the time, but that's the only one that's around your body when you're sleeping at night. And then your angels are protecting you too, of course, but physical body aura. Foam it out, including your physical body grounding. Especially second and first layers. If they get especially compressed, a nice way to uncompress them quickly is above the head and below the feet. Just unblock there, a little extra, and that tends to help the whole aura layer to expand more quickly. So first layer, I'm doing a little, I already did second layer a little extra. I'm doing first layer a little extra now. It's right around the skin, including below the feet, around your shoulders, your neck. It's right up against your body, physical body, first layer. You want to just wash away any lasting effects from trauma that you've been through. Just wash it away with some cold light. Comfort your body. Remind yourself that you're safe. Okay, you're safe. All right, good job. Woohoo! Thumbs up for you. Good job. Right. Okay, so we're going to be wrapping up soon. But before then, let's do again the self-care circle, which is a simplified way of unblocking and nourishing yourself enough so that you are more likely to do self-care more regularly. You know, there's always room for improvement, but that's the point. We want you to improve at least bit by bit, right? So just imagine a circle that represents your ability to be aware of what you need, be aware of what your body needs. You know, how can you nurture yourself? How can you take better care of yourself? How can you comfort yourself, especially the parts of you that are still kind of in those trauma moments? So to be aware of the issues and then to create your nurturing acts towards yourself, you know, to take nurturing acts towards yourself. So imagine that. You can imagine it in some other way if you want, but if you imagine it in a circle, just unblock anything in the way of you being aware of these traumatized parts of you and helping these traumatized parts of you. Taking the action, being aware and taking the action. All right, good job. I'm just looking for 1 sec, so I'm gonna put that on the Okay. So I have said that, you know, everybody's been through traumatic experiences in this life or past lives, or well, certainly in past lives and possibly in this life as well. And also trauma is relative, you know, like you can have something that's overwhelming to you that would not be overwhelming to someone else, or you know, whatever. So, and people that have different lives, different situations. However, what I wanted to work on now, just briefly, is sometimes in an attempt for people to be stronger, they can wall off the parts of them that are traumatized. You know, it's like there's this nuance. You don't want to just be the parts of you that have been wounded, right? You just don't want your identity to be someone who's been wounded, because that's very stagnant. You don't really grow very fast that way if you're all about, you know, who's done what to you. You know, it's a very unsatisfying existence, right? So a lot of times people want to be stronger, but maybe they don't know how to heal those parts of them. And so they just sort of kind of like a fake it till you make it idea, where you know, you just identify with a strong part of yourself and you're like, okay, I am strong. And that can actually help a lot. And it can be positive, and it can help you to bring more of your energy in alignment with your strength, with your empowerment, with your goals, with your confidence. And then those strong parts of you do heal the weaker parts of you. However, occasionally you build up too big of a wall in between you and these weaker parts of you. And so then you never heal them, and it doesn't really work. You know, the fake it till you make it is not working so well. You know, it's like if you had a broken leg, you know, you can't really fake it till you make it. You have to address your broken leg. You know, you need crutches, you need a cast, you know, your leg to be set properly so it heals right. You know, you can't just ignore the broken leg, right? So, emotionally and mentally, some people are doing that. They're ignoring a broken leg. They have too much trauma. They're ignoring it in order to try to feel stronger, you know, because they're desperate to feel stronger. So we're just going to adjust your denial wall, because there's some level of denial that might be necessary. You know, you don't want to be aware of all your trauma all at once, you know. So there's some that may be necessary, right? But then there's some other trauma that may not be necessary, and it's kind of like a broken leg, where, you know, you really should address that first, you know, because the whole limping forward isn't working so well, right? So we're going to adjust your, maybe that's what I should say, heal or adjust. Yeah, I'll just say adjust in parentheses. Oops. Your denial wall. So we use gold light and angel help, so that way, you know, it will get adjusted the way it needs to. So it won't break it down too much, or, you know what I mean? It'll just be okay. It'll be healthier than it is now. So imagine the part of you that you most identify with, and then if there's any wounded parts of you, and look to see if there's a wall in between the part of you that you identify most with and then the wounded parts. Is there a wall there? And if so, just notice how much of that you know, maybe there's not enough of a wall there. You know, but just use gold light only and angel help only, and just say, angels, help me to be healthy about this, you know, because you want to continually heal these weaker parts of you, but you could be too much in that part of you, and which is paralyzing, right? So just heal the weaker part of you, heal the part of you that you most identify with. Maybe those are the same parts, in which case find the strong part of you. Right? So you want to heal the strong part of you and the weaker parts of you. And if you have any that are walled off, check that wall and just heal it with lots of gold light. Say, angels, help me to adjust this wall so it's as healthy as possible, as empowering as possible for me. Right? Because you just want to be practical. You have a good life. You want to enjoy yourself. You want to be strong and safe, right? So sometimes you're ignoring too much maybe, and subconsciously you could be healing it rather than ignoring it, and you'd be getting stronger faster, you know? So what's the part of you that you identify most with? Is it your stronger part or your weaker part? If it's your weaker part, you know, go ahead and find a stronger part of you, even if it's just a teeny bit of you, right? Identify with the stronger part of you, but, you know, like you can kind of hold your hands with the weaker part of you. But if there's a part of you that's so traumatized, you do wall it off. Don't shame yourself. That's okay. There could be some trauma that's just too much for you right now, right? And that's all right. Just heal the wall in between the too much trauma and the rest of you. So, and just say, angels, help me do this. Because you don't want, and you can keep the wall there and heal the trauma part of you that's behind the wall. That's okay. Just say, angels, help me do this in a way that's healthy and won't trigger much. Right? And just, you can bring up red earth energy. Earth energy is really soothing for trauma. Like in a big forest. So just bring up earth energy and soak the traumatized part of you that may be behind a denial wall. And again, you might need the wall. That's fine. Just adjust it with gold light, just in case it's a little too much or a little too little. You know, maybe you're over-identifying with the most traumatized parts of you. So just say, angels, can you help me adjust this wall? And then there's the part of you that you most identify with, and you know, it's up to you, but you can identify most with the strongest part of you, and then also just heal the weaker parts as well. You don't have to divorce them. And you can just heal the whole continuum of yourself, you know. And again, if you need some parts to be in denial, that's okay. Some parts to be like subconscious but kind of away. And two, there's angel storage. So you can say, angels, if I need to store any of this away with angel storage, can you help me with that? Because you want to be functional, right? You want to be functional. You want to be able to work towards your healing and your strengthening and your goals, and just enjoy your life, right? So if there's stuff that's too much, just ask your angels to help you with angel storage. And if there's any energy blocks that are in the way of you identifying with the stronger part of you, in a healthy way, an empowered way, just melt away those energy blocks in the way of you identifying in a useful, practical way with the stronger parts of you. Melt away those energy blocks so that you can choose, if you want, to identify with the stronger part of you in a healthy way. So it's like you're not just pretending you don't have a broken leg. You know, you're just reminding yourself of your healing ability, and like it's all right. So let's do the wrap up part of the healing, including clearing 2 big blocks. Do that explaining anymore. Sorry, that was that was not all explaining. Okay, so put out in front of you copies of any energy blocks that are triggered right now, making you uncomfortable on any level, conscious or subconscious. And melt those away with gold light. And make piles out in front of you of any energy blocks that are still triggered right now, especially ones that are too big. And the two big ones tend to be glued together with your resistance or somebody else's energy. So just melt away the cords from other people and from yourself and melt away your resistance. Melt these blocks. And your grounding, check your grounding. And also unblock the bottom of all your auras. Beneath your feet. Around your lower back and the front of your belly. Unblock all your auras. And unblock above your head and above the top of your aura as well. Double check your back here, your flow zone and your good karma windows. Flow zone is in the physical body aura. Unblock your spinal cord and your flow zone. And again, uncord your backlash people. So imagine yourself and your backlash people and just melt the cords. Light and melt the baggage that the cords hook into. All right. And you can just ask your angels. Angels, can you please help me wrap up this healing? And angels, can you help me to clear my leftovers from trauma? And can you help me to nurture myself more and more? All right, good job. Woohoo, you're amazing. Yay, good job, good job, good job, good job. That's a healing. Woo. So if you have any quick comments about the healing, how the healing was for you, how you're doing now after the healing, if you have any comments about the theme or the techniques that we did, you could post those right now in the live chat. Of course, you can always post them under the video at any time. All righty. Hello from England. Hello to you. Hi from Evanston, 50s and sunny Fahrenheit. Hello, Evanston. You're Chicago. Hi from Chicago. Happy spring equinox. Is that today? Probably Thursday. My calendar's a little far away, but that's what I'm thinking. Yes, happy spring equinox. Thank goodness we made it. Phew. Good seeing you from Lakewood, Colorado. Sunny and 57, but recovering from a 4-foot snowstorm. Wow. Are you up in the mountains in Lakewood? we get a lot of snow here in the mountains, up in the mountains, but we're at a very low, like we as in Lorenzo and me, we live in Olympia, which is a very low elevation. So we miss a lot of the snow, which is good for us. We like that. Hello from Lake Worth Beach, Florida. Sunny and peaceful. Do I heal my spinal cord and vertebrae as I think of them in my body, or do I heal them out in front of me? Well, I think you're asking which is best or something. I mean, you could do either. Yeah. Potato, potato. Do whichever you feel. I would probably use a copy out in front of myself, but, you know, there's no reason you can't do both. Or if you have a strong preference, then do that one. Someone says, I felt energy leave my left abdomen when you were clearing baggage in the way of repairing, unblocking physical chakras. Thanks. Oh, good. Good. Yeah. If the chakra gets repaired, then you can click in much better. Like the astral chakra suddenly fits in better. So then you're there and you're in that whole area much more, which knocks out whatever's not you. Maybe just the extra energy of yours just melted away the blocks. But yeah, good. I'm glad you felt that. Nice. We are in the foothills, really. 8,300 feet. Oh, that's funny. That's a foothill for you guys? 8,300 feet above sea level. No, we're like less than 100 feet above sea level. 8,300 feet, it's in the foothills. That's funny. Wow. Well, that explains a lot. Thank you, Jana. I feel tired but productive at work this afternoon. Yeah. I don't know if you have childcare for your two kids, but maybe you're being courted by an adult in the front of your third chakra. Maybe your mom or someone who regularly takes care of the kids, if not right now. It's not your ex or anyone from his family. But anyway, you can just melt away the cords coming into the front of your third because it's compressing it. My neck and shoulders and jaw feel much more relaxed. Thanks. Yeah, that flow zone and spinal cord stuff is good stuff. All right. Well, I can show the doggies, but first I'll do a little garden chit chat. Why not? So gardening for me, oh, so I should put the label. So this will be quick, but you know, if you don't like gardening, just fast forward. Or you don't care about gardening. And if you don't care about gardening and you don't care about dogs, then you don't have to watch any of the rest. But anyway, so I have a grow room in the house where, you know, I grow things in the winter. And it has, you know, plant lights and shelves. And we also call it the cat room because that's where the litter boxes are. But when we had more cats, some of them used to eat in there and some used to eat out here because the ones out here used to steal the food from one of my cats in there. So I would have to like sort of section everyone off. But anyway, that's not a problem anymore. But so anyway, I usually grow in, I've been growing in there basil and kale, but the kale variety that I've been growing this past winter is more leggy and tall than the other kale. I thought it would be good enough because somebody had commented it's lower growing kale than some, but my variety that I was growing the winter previous is more lower growing than this one. This one has like these stems that go you know, like this much, and then the leaf is here. So I had to, anyway, so we had to we had to adjust the shelving that they're on, which is really kind of cumbersome because they're very significant metal wire shelves from Costco, and they're really sturdy, but that makes them sort of cumbersome. Plus there's already lights attached to them and everything, so me and my husband did that yesterday to accommodate the tall kale. But I'm gonna have to, you know, redo that grow room a little more just to because I'm gonna try to grow as much as I can, like starting at the end of this month through, you know, the next couple months. Because I'll be, not only will I have the winter basil and kale that I have been growing that we use in our dinners, but then I'm going to be starting tomato plants and some flowers, and basil for the outdoor garden. We use a different outdoor basil, Persian basil we use outdoors because that one's even bigger. Like the Thai basil I grow indoors, that's nice and compact. That's worked well in the winter. We use Siam Queen basil. If anyone needs a link to this, I would let you know. But Persian basil is like a beast out in the garden. It's gorgeous. It's purple. It's pretty. I had actually a basil background that was. There we go. Persian basil. Oops. There we go. That's Persian basil. Persian basil. Anyway. So, anyway, I got to start growing all that, but not yet. It's like tempting to start it all, but then A, I'm not ready to do it, and B, I don't want it to be too big before I can put it out. So anyway, I'm getting that ready. I have to order like some new lights for the shelves because 3 of them stopped working. I have to figure that out. Anyway, so there's a bunch of stuff to get ready for summer. But then outdoors, you know, there's a lot of stuff. That's the thing with gardening. It's like there's this endless amount of things you could do. So you have to kind of, that's a little bit, it's exciting, but then it can get a bit, you could get stuck about it, you know. So there is outdoor stuff that I would like to be doing as well. But anyway, so that's my gardening update. Nothing is growing. I haven't planted anything outside, but you know, there's the perennial stuff that's recovering from the winter now out there. But anyway, so that's my gardening update. Just, you know, unglamorous stuff like organizing the grow room. And I'm doing a little weeding outside, but not as much as I would like. I'd like to do much more. I bought a bunch of from Eden Brothers in the US. I bought a bunch of perennial rooted flowers that are just bare root, and I have to get those in the ground. But those I'm gonna put some of those in the garden beds, but not many, and I'll put them like on this hillside that's next to the garden area in the front yard and in the backyard. But like a lot of that is like covered in weeds, so I would have to weed it and plant the perennial roots, and like, you know, in some alternative reality, I'm gonna have time for that. So we'll see. It's totally open to divine assistance with all this. Oh my goodness. Someone says tuning in late. Look forward to watching it later tonight. Yes. Cool. All right. So now I will just show my puppies. They are happily resting. We're transitioning Abel to a new food because he's allergic to everything or reactive, I guess. Everyone thinks of them as allergies, but if it's not like deadly, you're supposed to call it a food reactivity, not a food allergy. So anyway, so he's reactive to most proteins that we've tried with him, most meats. So there's this kind of food that's like processed, so the body doesn't recognize it as a meat protein, even though it is. And so we're starting him on that. It's canned food. We had tried that type of food before, but that type of food before had a bunch of corn, and I think he had a bad reaction to that. So this type does not have corn in it, so here's hoping. But he is peaceful, so he's only half on the new food now, but I think it's helping because he's knocked out right now, so that's a good sign. So here's hoping. See, Izzy was supposed to get his dental, but he had a seizure right before his dental, so they didn't do the dental because the anesthesia that they give the dog can also trigger a seizure. So they both get seizures, so it's not like he's never had a seizure before, but since he had one so recently right before, then they postponed his surgery for a whole nother month, which is unfortunate because he's on these antibiotics, and so he'll be on antibiotics like off and on for 3 months, which, you know, that's not great, but whatever. It's like with these dogs, it's like nothing is really optimal ever. You just do the best you can, basically. So, but he seems happy. They both seem happy today. So it's a good day for both of them. So I'll show you them finally after talking so much. Anyway, so that's Izzy. He's the one that got his surgery delayed, his dental surgery. He really needs his dental surgery, but whatever. So it'll be early next month in April. And then there's Abel, who I was talking about with the food reactivity. And he's halfway on his new diet and looks like it's helping him already. That's exciting. And I calculated his age the other day because we usually forget, because we didn't get them as puppies. We got them as survivors from laboratory research when they were already adults. So, but anyway, so he's 14 and like 4 months. Man, old pup. All right, you guys, you're amazing. Congratulations for healing yourself. And I hope you have a good start to your spring. And if you did want to purchase one of the 3 spots left for the May twin set, you have to hurry up, because if they don't sell, I'm just going to give them to my genetic family members and give them the healings. Because after a while, my patience wears thin, you know, with those 3 spots just hanging out. Just kind of bugs my OCD. But if you want them, hurry up and buy them. All right, bye. You're amazing. Happy spring. Woo woo. Yay. Yay for spring. We'll do some butterflies for spring. Woohoo.